So I'd like to start off with a quote from the book, and it's from Brady. This is the time when he finds his father's cordless drill in the shed, and he doesn't know why it's there. So he goes over to JT's house and questions him. He goes, "Did your digger drill holes in the kayak?" And JT nods his head, indicating yes. So this shows that Brady never knew that Digger and JT actually went out to drill those holes. He never knew that they would actually take his drill to go use it. He never knew that they would actually go drill those holes in the kayak with his drill. And why would he, and if he did know about it, why would he go out of his way to go question them? He already knows that they did. If he already knew that they did it, he wouldn't be doing this in the first place.
I think since it was Brady's idea, that is called premeditated murder. So he should be held accountable because it was his idea to drill holes into the kayak.
I agree with that statement that it was his idea. However, in the book, they were in that cove and they were about to get kicked out, and it was an in-the-moment statement. They were angry at Mr. D'Angelo. They didn't think that they would actually go and do this. Brady sure came up with it, but he didn't do anything to help out with it. He just said, "Hey, we can drill holes in that kayak," but that was it. Nothing else happened.
It was Brady's idea, but he wasn't the one that physically did it.
I'm going to start with the quote. It says, he says that he has to do homework right after he told JT and Digger to put holes in the kayak and use the glue, which means that he didn't actually stand there and watch them do it, and he knew that they were going to do something to the boat.
Even though Brady didn't force Digger and JT to drill the holes, he knew that Digger would do something like that because of how he acts and all of that. Like, he smoked a cigarette and he made JT smoke it along with him because he was just that kind of a person, so they should have known.
Yes, but online it says that for instance, someone tells someone to commit suicide, that's directly telling them to go kill themselves, so therefore they're fined. But people were killed, Ben was killed in the kayak by an incident that Brady, yes, he did, it was his idea to drill the holes, but his first intention was not murder, so.
While I can see why you believe this, I see this differently. In my opinion, it was Brady's fault because it was his idea.
Okay, I'm gonna go with a quote from the book, and in it, it says that this was when Brady was talking to Carl, and the quote was, we did have a pulse, Brady. There is no question you brought him back. Brady was extremely upset when Carl was talking to him, and if Brady knew about it, then he wouldn't be this upset, and he wouldn't ask if they had a pulse.
On AnnenbergClassroom.com, it said that even though the defendant didn't pull the trigger, he was still convicted of being an accessory to murder, and that gives the accomplice the same punishment as the perpetrators.
There's not much background here in the book. He said that he felt extremely sad even being in Ben's room.
Another quote from the book. This was what Brady's mom said to Brady when she pulled him out of school. It's not your fault. Don't you dare blame yourself. You tried, Brady. You did everything you could. If you hadn't found him and done what you did, he wouldn't have any chance. You at least gave him that. Now, if Brady's intention was to murder someone, then he wouldn't be confused and blame himself for thinking that it wasn't his fault and all that he did. So,
Even if Brady didn't even didn't drill the holes, he still gave off the idea and let Digger and JT know how to actually drill the holes and put it in with the compound and the paint with the flakes and everything. So he should be held accountable because he basically gave off the idea.
Yes, he did say that, but
he didn't directly tell them, oh, you have to do this, because there was other ways to deal with the problem.
After what happened, he tried to help Ben, and he was trying to help Mrs. D'Angelo too, because she was going through rough stuff.
Now, another problem is, Damien, in your statement you were talking about how Brady did give off the idea. Sure, he can give off the idea, but if he was doing it in anger, he didn't want to do it. Digger and JT stole Brady's drill. If Brady was actually serious about going to drill these holes, wouldn't he have just given it to them or helped them out with it? He wasn't there at the time. He didn't give them the drill, and he wasn't actually serious about drilling the holes in the first place.
Going along with what Jake said, it wasn't like the murder was planned. Like, it wasn't like he said this and then he set out specific steps in how they were going to go about this. He just said that idea. It wasn't like premeditated. It was planned.
Adding to what Paul said in the book, it said like how Brady was really sad about the death of Ben, and he knew that Ben wouldn't get a second chance, and he was sad that Ben wouldn't be able to grow up.
Adding on to that, Brady said that like Ben wasn't able to like drink like he loved again. He said he was trying to like cut hair things, but he wasn't able to do anymore.
To go like he said in the book, he said that his mom told him that when he was right, he said that he should have gotten there sooner, and that he felt guilty for not being there to help us, and that he just didn't want them to die.
And when Brady was cleaning out the boat for Mrs. D'Angelo, he found the drill, and he was extremely surprised when he found the red paint on it. And then afterwards, when he went to go confront Digger, he talked to him, and then Digger ended up storming off. But Digger went back to the boat, and then in the book it said that when Brady confronted Digger, he said, "You know darn well what I'm doing here," which implies that Digger knows exactly what happened, and therefore he was part of it. And then Brady knew, and then Brady fires back with, "You're looking for the drill." So Brady knew because he found it in the shed, but he was surprised. So if he wasn't surprised, he would have known about it from the start.
On MarshallProject.org, it says that a woman got charged for murder. She didn't even kill anybody, and she didn't have any weapons, but it was assumed it was her. And Brady does have the drill now, so.
Along with that, Brady didn't drill the holes, but his fingerprints were still on the drill. So how would the police know that he wasn't part of the plan?
Well, that's exactly what he would explain to them there, because yes, his fingerprints were on the drill, but his dad could even back him up in saying that too, because his dad asked him where the drill was, and he had no clue where it was, and then his fingerprints just happened to be on it. That doesn't make any sense.
According to history, it was Hitler's idea to have the Holocaust, but he didn't kill anybody, but Hitler still accounted for it. So that's, no one else was, just what other people were. But Hitler was accounted for, even though he didn't kill anybody.
However, Bobby, the problem with that is Hitler knew that the Nazis were going to kill the Jews. Brady, on the other hand, doesn't know that Digger and JT are actually going to drill the holes. So that statement's not that good towards this.
Brady should know that Digger would drill the holes because Digger doesn't like him. So that's why Brady said it, was to help out Digger.
No, he was not trying to actually get Digger to drill the holes. He was saying this out of anger. Hitler knows that the people are being murdered, but Brady doesn't know that Digger's actually going to take his advice and actually going to grab the drill from his workhouse and drill holes in that kayak so it can sink and kill Ben.
Well, what would you think, since Digger, his grandpa's house was burnt down and his property was taken away, so what would you think was going to happen?
Sure, he's angry, but that doesn't mean that Brady actually wanted him to drill the holes in the kayak.
Okay, are you stopping? Okay, now you're gonna ask.
All
All right, before this is a great place to start. Started getting a little heated. first, Natalie, will you go ahead and we're going to go around, and those of you that are coaches, you guys are going to, wait, stay seated everybody, stay seated everybody, stay seated everybody. Coaches, pay attention to the tallies. As Natalie is going to video each of the comment counters, quote trackers, and transitioners to give us their report. Okay? Go ahead. No one's talking. What are you guys doing? You're not listening to me, I'll tell you that much. Sit. No, I didn't. Listen. Hey, go Natalie.
Okay, Carolina didn't reference any quotes. Alexis referenced 2 quotes. Jake referenced 1.
Okay, and are you feeling like they need to quote more of the book or more research?
More research.
Okay. All right, on to our transition. Okay, so overall, what do you think we need to do to improve the transitioning?
Like use transitions, like first start talking.
Okay, thank you. Riley and Tommy?
Okay, so Carolina spoke once, Natalie spoke 4 times, Alexis spoke twice, Magda spoke twice, Bobby spoke 3 times, Jake spoke 5, Dylan didn't speak at all. Oh, wait a second. Dylan didn't speak at all. Billy spoke once, Cole spoke 6 times, Damien spoke 4 times, and Jack spoke once.
Okay, so overall suggestions?
I think Dylan needs to speak a little more.
Yeah, and there's a lot of like time when no one was speaking, and like people could speak in that time a bit more.
Okay. All right, thank you. You guys have
All right, so on the first hand, Mrs. D'Angelo said, "I think this is a bonus," but Brady says no, like right after that. So that kind of proves that he's kind of like guilty, or like he has something going on between them.
Now, I'd like to pull up one of the events that happened near the beginning of the book. They're waiting for Carl to come pick them up to drive to school, JT, Digger, and Brady. And they see, Ben and Mrs. D'Angelo, however they think it's Mr. D'Angelo, on the red Kayak. JT and Digger did not want to yell anything. Brady wanted to warn them that they're going into a bad spot and the Kayak, and then they're going to get themselves hurt. If Brady wanted something bad to happen, wouldn't he just agree with Digger and JT to let's not say anything? I mean, he wanted to say something, but he ended up not because of JT and Digger. But wouldn't he have just agreed with JT and Digger and let the red Kayak go and sink?
Along with that, when Brady found out about JT and Digger drilling a hole for both, he didn't tell anybody because he would lose JT and Digger's friendship.
I understand where you're coming from, but I see it a bit differently. From my perspective, he didn't call out a warning even though JT and Digger told him not to. He should have if he thought that they were going into a bad situation. He should have still called out a warning.
And when the D'Angelos took over Digger's grandpa's property, Brady didn't like when he said to drill holes into the Kayak. Brady meant that. Brady started to like the D'Angelos when he started to babysit for Ben and started getting money. That's when he started to get feelings for Ben. But he meant to drill holes into the D'Angelos' Kayak, so to get revenge on the D'Angelos for taking over Digger's grandpa's property.
Well, if he meant it, there's a quote from the book that says, "I can't believe you guys did it. Why? What were you guys thinking?" So that's what Brady said to them. So if he really meant it, why would he say something like that?
He must have forgotten.
Going along with Bobby, Digger was smoking a cigarette and he was like under the influence of drugs when Brady did tell him that and gave him the idea. He should have known that like he might have done something because he just smoked like cigarettes.
Now, Bobby, you give a valid point on your statement. However, he was saying it out of anger. He wasn't actually meaning, let's actually do this. He's doing it out of anger. He's not actually being serious about it. And it wasn't towards Ben or Mrs. D'Angelo. It was towards Mr. D'Angelo. His anger was towards him. But he didn't actually want... But mainly, he doesn't actually want anybody to get hurt. He was doing it out of anger. He was like, oh, we could just drill holes. You know, we have the power to do this. But he's not meaning to do it. And he doesn't even know that JT or Digger would actually go grab his drill and do it. And then he also wants to yell something showing that he also cares. He doesn't want anybody to get hurt. But it's just the peer pressure from JT and Digger not to yell something got to him. Then even afterwards, when Ben dies, he even starts to regret his decision. He even thinks, I should have yelled something. I should have said something.
Yeah, he wants to yell something because he starts to care for him after he starts to get money for babysitting Ben. He's mad at the D'Angelos for taking what Digger's grandpa's property.
Brady didn't take Mrs. D'Angelo's money. He felt bad because of Ben's loss.
When he was babysitting Ben dies before Ben died, that's when he's taking the money.
But that was before it did that.
But it never says anything about him liking the D'Angelos just because he's getting money in the book.
And to go off what Jake said, like you said, yeah, he didn't accept the money, so you said that he might, that's the reason why. But it's because he's guilty that he felt that he didn't do enough to try and save him. That's why he didn't take the money.
Earlier, Jake said that Brady said that to him because out of anger. Well, yeah, he said to like drill holes, but he didn't have to go into like get the glue and tell him about like how if the kayak's in it for 20 minutes, the glue will peel off and the kayak will sink.
That doesn't mean anything. That just shows that he knows this could happen. He knows that you can grab that glue, you can drill the holes, put in the glue, and then after 20 minutes it'll do it. That doesn't mean that, you know, he wants to actually do the exact plan. It's just showing that, oh, we have the power to do this. I know what will happen if we do it, but that doesn't mean Brady wants to actually drill the holes and end up getting someone hurt.
And to go off with,
Okay, any closing comments?
okay, and to go off what, Magda, what you said about, that Brady knew, it was actually Digger who said that the glue would melt in the boat, and cigarettes, they're not a type of drug. They don't make you go under an influence that anyone could it doesn't change your mindset, it's just addictive.
Who knows how much what he'd done that morning? Maybe he had
But we don't
But that
know
wasn't
that.
stated. That wasn't stated.
That's the point. It's not stated in the book, so we don't know that. All we know is that he took about 2 puffs of the cigarette, which can't make you go crazy or anything. So that obviously shows that Digger is mad, but then he just takes Brady's plan. But Brady has no knowledge of that we're gonna do it. He just says, we have the power to drill holes in this kayak. We have the power to make this thing sink. Brady doesn't intentionally want to do that. He's saying it out of anger.
But since he's so young, the cigarette could do harm to him, which could have done something.
But couldn't the only harm that it could do is cause lung damage? Some he could also get cancer and stuff, but it was only to not really anything.
Yeah. And to go off what Carolina said, I mean, even 200 puffs of a cigarette, it's not going to get you under a false influence and stop your judgment. Can't change your judgment.
Okay, with that, let's turn to our closing speaker.
Alright, so I thought everyone did well on speaking. I disliked how things were being repeated, but it's okay. I feel that the side that believes Brady should not be accountable gave more information. I also think the side that believes Brady should not be accountable overpowered the other side. And I believe we did very good on our first Socratic seminar.